How is Hyeong-seok adjusting to the realities of his double life, and what practical implications are involved? Let's find out in episode 2 of Lookism. How's it? I'm Evie, and welcome to After the Episode. On this channel, you'll explore unforgettable Korean dramas and anime. The epic action, wild twists, and moving moments. Let's tuck in. It's Hyeong-seok's first day, and he's extremely nervous about all the positive attention he's been receiving, given that he's normally treated terribly. As he takes his seat, he recognizes two students. It's Jin-sung and Min-jin from the humiliating altercation he had with them in the city center. He thinks he's cooked, but instead, Jin-sung casually introduces himself, completely oblivious. Hyeong-seok is relieved that he doesn't seem to know who he is, and that's when a girl sitting a few seats away jumps at the opportunity to talk to him. Apparently, Han-ul has a reputation of flirting with anyone attractive, and Jin-sung is annoyed by her antics. He doesn't understand why she's acting this way and assumes that Min-jin wouldn't do the same. When he catches her blushing at Hyeong-seok, however, he becomes very insecure and stares daggers at him. At mealtime, a still anxious Hyeong-seok walks into the school cafeteria and immediately devastates the room with his beauty. Han-ul saddles up next to him to explain the different cliques, from the musicians and the phys ed groups to dance and aesthetics. She asks him why he chose to be a fashion major, and he says it's because he thought it would be fun. In reality, though, fashion design was the only class he could transfer to given his grades and attendance record at his previous school. She keeps the conversation going because she's thirsting for him and asks what he thinks about the school, to which he replies that he's grateful that no one makes him wait in line for meals anymore. She's confused by this, so he hastily changes the subject. Jin-sung looks on in irritation at the newcomer. Back in the classroom, Hyeong-seok is dozing off during the lesson. He wonders whether he pushed himself too hard the previous day when he was in the park, learning to walk, run, and then finally sprinting all the way home. He's definitely overexerted himself because he falls asleep at his desk and his ordinary self wakes back up at home. He panics and tries desperately to fall asleep again, but he can't because his ordinary body has been asleep all day, so isn't tired. Fortunately for him, Han-ul wakes him up when the class has ended and he returns to his handsome self. He's incredibly relieved, and she blushes at his sincere gratitude. Sometime later, Hyeong-seok, in his regular body, begins his new job working the night shift at a convenience store. The store manager wonders how a student like him is able to sleep during the day to be alert for his work at night, and Hyeong-seok is nervous to answer. Earlier, handsome Hyeong-seok had seen the job posting, and the store manager was very enthusiastic because he thought he'd get more customers by having a good-looking employee. His hopes are shattered when ordinary Hyeong-seok shows up as his employee, and he tries to rescind the job offer. Fortunately, ordinary Hyeong-seok gets the job, albeit at a lower salary than he was promised to his handsome self by having an impressive knowledge of products. He's grateful to have a job that can cover his living expenses, which have now doubled because he has to take care of both his bodies. I'm so amazed at how pragmatic Hyeong-seok is. I don't know about you, but if I woke up one day looking like Beyonce, I don't think the cost of maintaining my magical self would have occurred to me quite so soon. Anyway, Hyeong-seok's first shift at the convenience store isn't going to be an easy one because a group of students from his fashion class have just walked in to buy some age-restricted items. They are furious that he won't allow them to buy the items with fake IDs. The situation goes from bad to worse when Jin-sung walks in and recognizes Hyeong-seok from their previous encounter in the city center. Jin-sung is so awful to him. First, he demands that Hyeong-seok pay for all their snacks, and then he gets mad that Hyeong-seok shares the same name as the handsome newcomer, who in his mind also flirted with Min-jin. Jin-sung viciously attacks Hyeong-seok, and his friends take compromising pictures of him so that he doesn't contact the police. The bullies leave the store laughing, and Hyeong-seok is truly miserable. Just then, his mother calls to check up on him, but he ends the call quickly, saying he's busy. He's unaware that his mother is also working late so that she can send him money for school. The next day, Jin-seung's awful friends are in class laughing at a funny picture on his phone, and Han-hol invites handsome Hyeong-seok to have a look. It's the compromising picture from the previous night. They all find it hilarious, including Han-hol, and Jin-seung's friends compliment him on his lightning-fast boxing technique. Hyeong-seok is quietly seething, but when the bullies bring up his mother, he's just about had enough and tells them to stop making fun of other people's family. When Min-jun looks at Hyeong-seok, it causes Jin-seung to fly into a rage. Hyeong-seok nervously tells him that he wasn't trying to start a fight, but Jin-seung is an egomaniac who can't be reasoned with. Min-jun tells him to stop, but his temper gets the better of him as he sees her glance in Hyeong-seok's direction again. Another student, Jae-yul, steps in to restrain Jin-seung, but he manages to free himself and aim a lightning-fast punch at Hyeong-seok. A lifetime of being on the receiving end of punches enabled Hyeong-seok to see them coming, but he was never able to dodge them because his reflexes weren't quick enough. Until now, that is. Much to his embarrassment, Jin-seung can't seem to land a single punch, thinking Hyeong-seok must be a pro at this. Meanwhile, Hyeong-seok, who is freaking out on the inside because he knows he can't keep this up much longer, decides to go on the offensive. With one gut punch, he brings Jin-seung to his knees, and everyone cheers and takes photos. Well, everyone except Min-jun, who just sighs. Jin-seung is humiliated because Min-jun saw the whole thing. The news of Jin-seung's defeat spreads through the school. In the vocal dance class, a boy who's bullying another student is notified of the handsome newcomer, and in the architecture class, a weeping Basko vows to bring him down. Poor Hyeong-seok. He can't even exist without someone having a problem with him, whether handsome or ordinary. Who are all these enemies he's just made, and what do they have in store for him? We'll see in my next recap video on episode 3, so check it out. Links are in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.